My son's voice cracked over the phone, the words slicing through me like a dull knife I'd sharpened myself over years of sacrifice. "Mom, I need $50,000, he said, and before I could ask why, he dropped the bomb. "It's for Dad's new family. They're starting over without you in the picture. You're just holding us back." The air left my lungs and I stood there in my empty kitchen, the coffee mug slipping from my fingers, shattering on the tile like the last piece of my heart. Before I tell you how my life unraveled, I want to gently ask you to subscribe to this channel and tap the like button. These stories are shared every day, and if you've ever loved deeply, lost painfully, or had to rebuild yourself from nothing, you're not alone here. It all started on a crisp autumn morning in suburban Chicago, the kind where the leaves crunch under your sneakers and the air smells like pumpkin spice lattes from the drive-thru. I was 38, juggling a full-time job as a marketing coordinator at a mid-sized firm downtown, and the endless shuttle of school drop-offs, soccer practices, and grocery runs. My name is Emily, M to my friends, though lately those had dwindled to coffee chats with coworkers. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was mine, built brick by brick after a messy divorce 5 years earlier. My son Alex was 18, a senior in high school with dreams bigger than our 2-bedroom ranch house could contain. He'd always been my anchor, the reason I pushed through the late nights studying for my degree while waitressing, the boy who'd curl up with me on the couch watching old Disney movies even when his friends were out partying. "You're my hero, Mom," he'd say, his head on my shoulder. And I'd believe it, letting that warmth chase away the chill of loneliness. That morning, I was in the kitchen packing his lunch, turkey on whole wheat and apple, and a note that said, "Crush that calc test today. Love, Mom." When my ex-husband, Mark, texted, it was unusual. Our communication had been reduced to curt exchanges about Alex's schedule or child support payments, which he paid sporadically at best. The message read, "Need to talk about Alex. Call me when you're free." I frowned at my phone, the screen lighting up my face in the dim dawn light. Mark and I had met in college, young and foolish, thinking love was enough to conquer student loans and midnight feedings. Alex came along right after graduation, a surprise that forced us to grow up fast. For a while it worked. Family barbecues in the backyard, holidays with my parents in Wisconsin, Mark climbing the ladder at his engineering firm. But then came the late nights at work, the whispered phone calls, and eventually the confession. An affair with his secretary, 25 and unburdened by stretch marks or mortgage payments. The divorce had been brutal. A year of lawyers and custody battles that left me with primary guardianship and a mountain of debt. Mark remarried quickly, to her of course, and they moved to a McMansion in the suburbs, complete with a pool and a stepmom who posted filtered selfies on Instagram like it was her job. Alex split time between us, but I could see the pull. Their house had the latest gadgets, weekend trips to the lake, while mine had thrift store furniture and budget meals. I called Mark on my commute, the Bluetooth crackling through my old Honda's speakers as traffic crawled along I-90. "What's up?" I asked, trying to sound casual though my stomach twisted. "It's about Alex's college," he said, his voice smooth like he was pitching a client. "He's got his heart set on NYU, but the tuition, it's steep. I thought we could split it." I gripped the wheel tighter. NYU had been Alex's dream since he was 15, inspired by some YouTube video about film school in the city. We'd toured the campus virtually during the pandemic, and his eyes had lit up like Christmas lights. But 50 grand a year? My salary barely covered our basics, and Mark's child support was always late. Split it how? "You know I can't." "Em, come on. You've got that 401k. Cash it out. It's for his future." I nearly swerved into the next lane. "That's my retirement, Mark. And yours is probably padded from your bonuses. Why not use that?" He sighed, that exasperated sound I knew too well. "Lisa's pregnant. Twins. We're tight on cash with the house reno." Lisa. His perfect wife, 28 and glowing, no doubt. The news hit like a punch. Another family. Another chance for him to play the doting dad without the baggage of our shared history. I swallowed the bitterness. Congratulations, I muttered. But Alex is our son. We figure this out together. We hung up with no resolution, and I spent the day at work distracted, my mind replaying the conversation while I tweaked ad campaigns for a client selling organic dog food. My boss, Karen, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, noticed. Everything okay, hein? You look like you could use a margarita lunch. I forced a smile. Just family stuff. Ex-husband drama. She nodded knowingly. Been there. Hit me up if you need to vent. That evening, Alex came home from practice, his soccer cleats tracking mud on the entry rug. Hey, Mom, he called, dropping his bag with a thud. He was tall now like his father, with my dark hair and a smile that could charm anyone. I hugged him, inhaling the mix of grass and teenage sweat. Dinner's almost ready, spaghetti and meatballs, your fave. Cool. He grabbed a soda from the fridge, popping it open with a fizz. Dad called me today. My fork paused mid-stir in the sauce. Oh? What about? College. He said you're on board with helping out. I turned, wiping my hands on a dish towel. We talked, but honey, it's a lot of money. We need to look at scholarships, maybe community college first. His face fell, that youthful optimism cracking. Mom, NYU is my shot. Dad said you'd understand. It's not like you're using that savings for anything big. The word stung, but I brushed it off. We'll figure it out. Let's eat. Over dinner, we chatted about his day. I'd be on a history paper, drama with his girlfriend Mia, who wanted to go to prom in a limo. Normal stuff. But as he helped clear the table, he lingered. Mom, can I ask you something? Anything. If Dad needs help with the new babies, would you be okay if I spent more time there? I froze, plate in hand. Why do you ask? He shrugged. Just, Lisa's nice. And the house is big. I could have my own room. You have your own room here, I said softly, but the doubt crept in. Was this Mark's doing? Planting seeds? That night I lay in bed scrolling through Facebook. Old friends posting vacation pics from Florida. My sister in California with her perfect family. A message popped up from Mark. Think about it. For Alex. I didn't respond. Instead, I pulled up my banking app, staring at the $52,000 in my savings, scraped together from overtime, side gigs, freelancing copy, and skipping vacations. It was my safety net, my someday fund for a house upgrade or travel. But for Alex, I'd give anything. The next few weeks blurred into a routine of tension. Alex grew distant, spending more weekends at Mark's, coming home with stories of laser tag outings and home theater movie nights. I'd nod, smiling through the ache, reminding myself it was good for him to have both parents. Then came the call that shattered everything. It was a Thursday evening. I was home early, folding laundry while binge-watching a rom-com on Netflix to drown out the silence. My phone rang. Alex. Hey, Bull. What's up? You coming home tonight? Mom. His voice was hesitant, laced with something I couldn't place. I need to talk to you. It's important. My heart skipped. Okay, shoot. I need $50,000. I laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. For what, a sports car? No, seriously. It's for Dad's new family. They're starting over without you in the picture. You're just holding us back. The room spun. I sank onto the couch, the laundry basket tipping over. What did you say? He sighed, impatient. Dad's business is struggling. The Reno went over budget, and with the twins coming, they need cash for a down payment on a bigger place. He said your savings could cover it, and I'd get to live there full-time. NYU's expensive, but if we consolidate. Consolidate. My voice rose, trembling. Alex, that's my money. For us. For your future. But Mom, you're alone. What do you need it for? Dad says you're stuck in the past, and I agree. It's time to move on. Tears burned my eyes. Stuck in the past? I'd rebuilt our life from scratch, new job, therapy sessions on Tuesdays, even dating apps I swiped through half-heartedly. Is this you talking, or your father? It's me. I love you, but Lisa's family. They're fun. You're always tired working. I want more. The line went dead in my soul before I hung up. I sat there staring at the wall, the TV's laughter mocking me. How had it come to this? My own flesh and blood reducing me to an obstacle. That night I didn't sleep. Instead, I paced the living room, memories flooding back like a montage in a bad movie. Flashback to Alex's birth. Mark holding my hand in the hospital, promising forever. To his first steps in our tiny apartment, giggling as I cheered. To the divorce court where I fought for custody, whispering to Alex, "We'll be okay, just you and me." By morning, betrayal had solidified into a cold rage. I called in sick to work, then drove to the bank. But instead of withdrawing, I transferred the money to a new account, one Mark couldn't touch. Then I texted Alex, "Come home. We need to talk in person." He showed up that afternoon, backpack slung over his shoulder, looking wary. "Mom, about the money." "Sit," I said, gesturing to the kitchen table. I poured us coffee, my hand steady despite the storm inside. "Tell me everything. From the beginning." He fidgeted, avoiding my eyes. "Dad said if I convinced you, he'd pay for my dorm at NYU. And I'd be part of the new family officially." "Officially?" I echoed, the word tasting like ash. "Yeah, like adoption or something. Lisa wants to be my mom too." The realization hit like a freight train. This wasn't just about money, it was erasure. Mark wanted to wipe me out, rewrite our history with his shiny new life. And Alex, my boy, was complicit, lured by promises of ease. I took a deep breath, channeling the strength I'd buried. "Alex, I love you more than anything. But this is betrayal. I've sacrificed everything for you. Nights alone, dreams deferred so you could have a shot. And now you ask me to fund my own replacement." His face crumpled. "Mom, I didn't mean." "You did," I cut in, voice firm. "And that's okay. You're young, influenced. But hear this, that money is mine. Earned by me. If you want NYU, apply for loans, scholarships. Work for it like I did." He stormed out, slamming the door, heading straight to Mark's. The house echoed with emptiness, but for the first time, it felt like space to breathe. The days that followed were a haze of pain. I cried in the shower where the water masked my sobs. Friends called, my bestie Sarah from college who lived in the city. "Come stay with me," she urged. "Get out of that house." I did. Packed a bag and drove to her apartment in Wrigleyville, the Cubs banners fluttering in the wind. Over wine on her balcony, overlooking the bustling streets, I poured it all out. "He wants to erase me, Sarah. My own son." She hugged me. "He's a kid, manipulated. But you? You're a warrior. Time to fight back." Realization dawned slowly, like the sun over Lake Michigan. I'd been living for Alex, putting myself last. No more. I enrolled in a yoga class, started journaling. Diary entries scrawled late at night. Today I chose me. It hurts, but it's freedom. Back home, I ignored Mark's barrage of texts. "Where's Alex's money? You're being selfish." I blocked him, focusing on work. Karen promoted me to senior coordinator with a raise. "You've got fire, she said. "Use it." Alex texted sporadically. "Miss you. Can we talk?" I responded kindly but firmly. "When you're ready to apologize, doors open." Months passed. Winter blanketed Chicago in snow, the holidays lonely but peaceful. I decorated a small tree for myself, baked cookies, and volunteered at a shelter, serving meals to families in need. It reminded me of my own struggles, fueling a new purpose. Come spring, the comeback began. I cashed a portion of my savings, not for them but for me. Enrolled in an online MBA program, dreaming of starting my own marketing consultancy. Dated a kind man named Tom, a teacher I met at a coffee shop, who made me laugh and feel seen. Then the turning point. A call from Alex, voice breaking. "Mom, I messed up." He came over that evening, eyes red from crying. Dad's business tanked. Lisa left him, took the twins to her parents. He was using me to get to your money. I held him as he sobbed, my heart aching but resolute. I know, sweetie. But why did you go along? I was stupid. Wanted the easy life. But it's not real without you. We talked for hours rebuilding bridges. He moved back in, applying to local colleges with scholarships he'd earned himself. Mark. Radio silence, his empire crumbling. Revenge wasn't dramatic. No lawsuits or public shaming. It was quieter, more satisfying. Thriving without them. I launched my business that summer. Clients rolling in from word of mouth. Alex and I traveled to New York. Not for NYU but a mother-son trip, walking Central Park, sharing dreams. One evening, as we watched the sunset from a rooftop bar, he turned to me.
Mom, I'm sorry.
You're not holding anyone back. You're the one who set me free. I smiled, tears welling. We set each other free, kiddo. Life moved forward. Tom proposed a year later, a simple ring in a park picnic. Alex walked me down the aisle at our small wedding, his toast bringing the house down. To Mom, the strongest woman I know. Thanks for not giving up on us. Now at 40, I look back on that phone call, the shatter of the mug, and see it as the crack that let the light in. Betrayal broke me, but from the pieces I built something unbreakable. If you're out there feeling erased, remember, your story isn't over. It's just beginning.